welcome to another day. A day that we know we are getting our revenge. What I mean by that is we were being laughed at, I'm sure, by the neighborhood as we were washing our boats, and they were out all mowing their lawns, trying to make them all look pretty before the weekend. Well, it rained about a half hour after we finished getting the second top on, and it rained all night long, most of the morning, and now everything is saturated and wet, and the grass is growing exponentially. So by the time their grass is dry, they'll have to mow it again. Now we're off to the 19 project here. The weather people don't have a clue what's going on. You know, it's supposed to be cleared and gone hours ago. It's not. And there's some blue skies way over there, but we'll see if they ever get way over here. So we're gonna work in the garage and we'll figure out what's going on from there. And maybe we'll get a few things ready to actually install. The sun has graced us with its presence. So I decided to use this time to double and triple check my transom shield before we go doing anything crazy. Got everything off, all the tape off, all that good stuff after the painting. And yeah, we're just trying to make sure everything works the way it's supposed to. I mean, we did fix a couple spots around the outside cutout and painted, and again, it just means that much of a difference because I've had to do a tiny bit of filing. But we are officially there. The only thing I have left now is these two bolts over here. They got to be custom sized because down here, of course, the cabossel was like, I don't know, an inch thick. So yeah, you have to add a little bit more for these lower bolts, and that's what I had to do. I had to buy some bolts down here and just kind of whack them off to the right size, and now I'm cold galvanizing them to make sure they don't rust in the bottom of the bilge. Yes, my pink spots are still there. We also went ahead and removed, you know, they had a plastic fitting in here. This actually looks like a through one, but it's plugged on the other side also, and it's brass, so it won't actually crumble and fall apart in my hands like the original did. I also went ahead and did my Volvo tag in black, you know, just because. But it's all coming together now. As I said, I got a couple little tweakings to do here, and I'm going to pull it off, and then I need to put some gaskets on it and RTV them to the shield, and that way they have nowhere to go, and leave them set up for a few hours so they're nice and locked in place. I'm just over here playing with the Biese, and I gotta be honest, I'm not really sure what's going on. My last battery decided that it wanted to get really big and hot, which that was a no-no. So I took one of my old batteries that I had in the 19 and I dropped it in, and it was at 12.4 volts or something like that when I came out here. Slapped the battery charger on for fun. It's been on for like 2.5, 3 hours. It still says it needs to be charged. Just tested it again. It's at 13 volts. Of course, it's dropping back a little bit once I take the charger off, so I don't know. I think I'm good. Maybe my battery charger's decided to destroy some stuff. I don't know. It's been a bit distracting all day, but it's getting late. I need to get this thing covered up, and we have to update on what else is going on. Okay, we went ahead and we got all our gaskets installed. Used a little RTV black to adhere them. I figured with a bead underneath of all the gaskets, it actually will raise them up just a slight bit from being compressed before on another boat. When I go to install it, I'll also be doing a layer of RTV all the way around the outside. That stuff doesn't get hard like 5200, so, and it's impervious to water, oil, gas. So I mean, if you want to take your boat out into a lake of gas, you'll be fine. And on, you know, just doing things here and there, I looked over at these guys and I thought, I just can't leave them sit any longer. I got to know. So I went ahead and I pulled all the lines off of them, and yeah, they pulled right out like butter. I mean, they are perfect. I shouldn't say perfect, but they feel really, really, really nice. So one of them had just a tiny bit of oil in it. The other one was just kind of, you know, spitting out kind of like oily air. So I went ahead and I filled them up with some transmission fix. and now they're just going to leave them sit on that diaper there, and every now and then I'll come over and I'll kick them around a little bit, make sure they stir around in the cylinders. So I mean, there's a lot in there, but I mean, of course it's not pressurized on both sides or it'd be squirting out everywhere. I just want it in there to make contact with all those seals, and that's when it's going to do its magic with plumping up and filling in those cracks or whatever else, if there is any. This is pretty precautionary for me. I mean, normally most people would probably just try them like they were, but I'll even go ahead and put some of this fix transmission, whatever, seal stuff, whatever it's called. I'll put it in actual trim pump also, especially if I buy a used one, because it'll also fix all the seals inside the trim pump. So that's about it for me for today. I have some cleaning up to do and some tools to put away and to prepare for tomorrow, because hopefully it'll be transom install day. See you then. Welcome to another day where we have thrills, we have chills, we even have spills. Hey lifers, welcome back. Just steadily moving along here. We have a late afternoon start. Had other obligations, including my lawn, which my Aries lawnmower is now not supported by Home Depot. Pretty orange looking machine that came from Home Depot. They didn't have a belt, and I had to run all over the place to try to find one, and it just turned into a whole day fiasco for a simple lawn mowing. But I've got my stuff out. Did our prep work yesterday. We got everything all glued in and ready to go. And I am going to make an attempt here shortly to install this big guy. Oh, I got my fingers crossed it goes in as easy as the test fits did. But you know what? I ain't counting my chickens until they hatch. So I've already taken a little denatured alcohol, wiped down the transom. That way there's no wax between the RTV and it. You know, I want to make sure it actually attaches. I've used this before on mine, the same process basically, and I've had it off before. It's not permanent, but it's definitely a permanent seal if you want it to be with the RTV. And being that this one's already been put in, all these seals down here, they actually have a little bit. I mean, I didn't leave like a big gob underneath of it and then like smashed it in. I just put a nice, you know, bead all the way around and then just kind of pressed it in place. So I'm sure there's probably a millimeter or something around there of RTV up underneath of it pushing, so we'll get a little bit more gasket surface to mate that with the actual hull itself. But I have to say I'm a bit nervous about this. You know, it's one of these permanent items you install, and it's like paint with me. I mean, once it's done, it's done. You know, what else are you going to do to it? Go back and unpaint it? Yeah, it's one of these things where if it's installed and it screws up, it could be a problem. But we've done all our leg work, and we've done all our prep work, and we've done test fits, and we've done this and done that. I don't know what else we could do to make sure it actually fits properly. So we're just going to install it. Say hello to my little friend. Yeah, it's in. Little bit of cavemanning, you know. I don't know what the deal is. I fit it in and I adjust everything, fit it in again, readjust everything, fit it in another time. It's just, I figure it's one of these things where it wants to be exactly where it wants to be and you have no other option. So it took a little cavemanning to get it into that place, but we're there. And we have a little bit of RTV squeezing out around the top. We'll just wait for that to seal up and dry. And we'll go ahead and cut that off. Smearing it around is not my forte. And yeah, we're gonna let that set up for a bunch of hours here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll give it another torque. Right now, it's pretty solid. I mean, it's really solid. There's a lot of torque on those bolts, but you know, I want to let it set up so we're not squeezing everything out. And along with that, we've gone ahead and put another coat on our second half of our 280T transom shield. telling you, it's coming down to trim lines, and we can put this whole thing back together. This is a pleasure, I gotta say. A lot of times you gotta do a lot of work to these guys. This one, as I said, besides the dry rot, and it had to be a freshwater shield because there was no corrosion or anything. So yeah, we're all happy now. But as I said, it's going to take a few hours, and then we're going to be able to come back and torque it back down. And it's getting kind of late in the evening, so we may be actually doing this tomorrow. And I'm going to see what else I can get into for a little while. We've already gone ahead and put our final torque on our drive here for the night. Solid. You can feel it where it kind of bottoms out at against the hull. So I'm comfortable with that. Tomorrow I'll let it sit overnight. Tomorrow I'll come in and see if I can get another quarter turn out of it or so, and I think I'll be totally happy where it's at. Sitting nice, flush, it's good to go. Another thing I did here is I replaced my bilge pump outlet. See how small that outlet was? Yeah, try to match it up to that 1 1/8 inch down there. Off the bilge pump was a bit of a challenge, so we decided that we're just going to replace the guy altogether. And it's the same size outlet, it's no different, it's just the end is bigger, so we went ahead and did that. And also put a final coat on our second half of our 280T, and it is all good to go. Sit in the garage and harden up while we let everything else go off. We were kind of playing around here for the last few minutes with our bilge blower. We're really not sure where we're going to put it. We were thinking actually mounting it to the back side of the seat or something. Maybe back on the other side of the transom. Because actually where that cable hose comes down at is actually where the bilge pump comes down at also. So that cable hose won't be there. It actually bends over this way and allows you to put a cable through the transom shield without water coming back up into the boat. So yeah, we're all set there. We got something to work on tomorrow, and we're done for the night. So we'll see you later. Welcome to another day. At the moment, I'm trapped in the corner of my garage. And why am I trapped? Well, got out my magic Volvo box. And to get that one out, you gotta move a lot of things. But in my little magic Volvo box, I've got everything. From shafts, the top end pieces, the seals, I even had this block off plate that I just made. Thing about this one was, I knew it. It only has the one ear, and actually the other ear was not there. I think it was for a 4-cylinder or something like that. And we needed both of them closed off, so it stays. I even have a tilt motor over here. We're not even going to get into that crazy stuff. But the reason I'm over here trapped, which I'm going to get out here in a second, is to find these lovely pieces. And it's a crap ton of money sitting right here. Of course, I need this for my flywheel to hook up my bell housing, which I don't have yet. I also need that for a bell housing. I need this donut seals to actually seal the bell housing, which I still don't have yet. I also need this helmet, which goes with this setup here instead of the single nut. Without that, I'm in trouble. But in the process, I also found the cable lock, and I found this bar, which is for the reverse lock that goes right here. The problem is that one is a bit short by about 3 inches. But at least I got the right bar, and I know exactly what size it is. I can get a piece of stainless steel rod at 0.508 diameter, and we'll just replace that. So the only thing at the moment that I'm missing is 2 Allen head bolts that actually lock the pins, the drive pins, on so they don't back out, and the 2 nuts that actually hold the helmet on. They're kind of specialty guys. They're flat, really kind of wide, flat heads, Allen bolts. And yeah, I gotta discover those guys, and I think I'm pretty much done. So that's my day, pretty much, is hunting out stuff because it is a icky day outside. My next one is I'm going for my magical electrical box. I just got to know what I got. I just don't want to see something online and go, oh, I need one of those, and then buy it and then realize I actually have it already in stock. But I tell you, it's really nice shopping in your own garage. Now we're just trying to get our pieces together for projects. Parts of steering. Got other parts of steering over here on a paint bench, quote unquote. We're trying to get some just miscellaneous things painted up and done. That's for our bell housing that we don't even have yet. Of course, we need the helmet. That's got to be done. So it's just things that have to be done that we have come across that we're doing. And in the process, we went ahead and cleaned up all our hardware for our 280T transom shield. Apparently somebody's taken this guy apart at one time and decided to use some what I would call freshwater carter pins, i.e. they weren't stainless either, and they were causing, like, you can just still see a little bit of the rust right here. So we're gonna have a white out drive. We don't need things rusting on it. So we're replacing all that, and we got our steering helmet, lock nut, I don't even know what the thing is actually called, done. It's all ready to go. We didn't really have a whole lot of luck with finding anything electrical. I mean, we got a couple grounding blocks, but I'm not even big fans of these because you gotta jump to use it as a grounding block. So I may look around and see if I can find one similar to this. I may even use this one, I'm not sure yet. But again, I really wasn't expecting much out of the electrical box. I mean, most of it you buy and then things go bad and then you throw it away. And when you're taking boats apart, there really isn't much of an electrical world that actually gets saved. And this is pretty much what a day consists of on a rainy day like this. We have things on order that are coming in, and we are just going to do what we can. And that's what I mean about doing something every day. I know this isn't going to come up in weeks. If not, maybe next spring. I don't know. I mean, but to have that part just sitting over here in a pile, you know, dirty, there's no sense in it. Now, of course, when things were outside, and it's been beautiful out, and I've had tons of other work, it did just sit in a pile and stay all scrungy. But, you know, when I got time, it's definitely time to do something, you know? It's like, oh, I just don't have anything today. Well, go find something. I mean, there's always something, trust me. Either way, that's my philosophy. I've got to do something every day, and it keeps you in the project all the time. But that's it for today. We will see you again tomorrow. Oh, looks like we're getting rid of some stuff. That's good. Let's continue. Welcome to another day where we are in the process of getting rid of stuff. We have parts hanging, parts on benches, parts in boats. We're moving along here today. The sun has come out, which is a plus. You know, after yesterday, it was a total rain out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clean up what's left of our parts here and get them all packed away and ready to be installed when the time comes. And we're going to go out to the boat and start working on some of this electric. Yeah, I figured electric day. I already got a harness on the way. I've already got a few other things. So I'm going to work on some electrical and see how far I can get ahead on that. Like I said, we've also got our steering kind of straightened out here, so we've got parts enough for that. And we're still waiting on some parts for the 270. Mainly the parts I'm waiting on I'd have to go have made. So yeah, I'm just not doing that today. Maybe tomorrow. But like I said, as long as I got something to do, I'm not worried about doing other things. And there's plenty of things on the way to get done too. So time to get going. Progress is being made. We're kind of going about this unorthodoxly because we don't really have the things that we want to do, and we have other things that we just need to get out of the way. I went ahead and I got our vent fan and bilge blower, or whatever you want to call it. It's all wired up. Chased everything in this nice new loom. Got 100 feet of the stuff on Amazon for like $6. It was like, what the hell? I don't have everything completed yet. I still need my bilge hose, which is like a 1 inch, and I don't have a 1 1/4, and it's like fits on it real sloppy, so I still got to get a section of the hose yet. But then my bilge wire will follow the hose up because the connection outlet's right here, and from there it'll make this connection, and then as I go I'll tighten everything up. But at the moment, like I said, I don't even have the hose in itself, so there's no reason to even try to make anything tight. Just want the general direction. And we've gone ahead and put in a couple temporary hangers. Yeah, they're massive, but it makes it real easy to string things through. So we're just got everything running up towards the bow it needs to go. The rest of it, I'm pretty positive, except for like one ground wire to the gas tank, I'm almost positive that will fit in the new wiring harness that we picked up on eBay. So from there, I decided that it was time to figure out where my steering goes. And I think I'm going to follow my 19s. It's off just by about, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches, but it goes right about here somewhere. No, actually right about here somewhere. So yeah, it's a little tricky. We want to make sure you get it in the right spot first time, because it's actually another one that has holes go through the transom. I know a lot of people would just lag bolt this thing, just be done with it. Now, if you ever had a steering cable break or come apart, or you know, the whole system fall apart on you, you'll never do that again. That's for sure. Because I mean, I had a steering cable break at like 60 mile an hour, maybe 50 mile an hour. Threw the boat into a 180-degree turn, like in the, like, I don't know, within the length of the boat. It was horrible. So I don't play around with steering anymore. I overdo it. And the race boat, it actually has dual cable steering. It's got a bezel like the one you would have for a a flying bridge also, but it's just 2 cables. One comes in one side, one comes in the other side, and it goes that way, and the other one comes around this way. And they both meet and they push-pull on that tiller handle basically every time you make a turn. One's pushing and one's pulling. So even if one breaks, the other one's still doing what it's supposed to do. But that's neither here nor there. I need to get drilling some holes, which I'm not really fancy to, but you know, it's got to be done. Well, it's the end of another day. We're just out here fooling with a fuse box here. Yeah, we're probably going to use the original. It's in great shape. I just ran a wire brush through all the fuse holders, I guess they are. And now they're all nice and shiny and polished, and everything else is so solid that I don't see any reason not to use it. But we went ahead and went around the transom shield. There's tiny little gaps around the outside edge because of the seal. Makes it stick out a tiny bit away from the actual fiberglass. So black sealant all the way around to the point here, and then white all the way around the rest of it. And it just makes sure all the gaps are filled. You know, I mean, there's nothing, it's not going to get any more solid. I've put some serious torque on them bolts. So got our holes drilled. Everything is done and installed, and now waiting for a cable from a steering bezel, bezel, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But it's all right, ready to go, and solid as can be. You're not going to rip that out of the transom, that's for sure, no matter what you hit. But with that, I have to cover up the race boat because I'm charging batteries at the moment. Had a battery kind of go low on me. Yeah, I've been too busy on this thing and not enough playtime. So yeah, we're got to close the boat up and close this one up. So we'll call it a night, and we will catch you again tomorrow. Welcome to another day. We just got back from spending a ton of money. Yeah, went to our local hydraulic shop and had some lines made. That's just for the outside. They connect the rams up to the outside of the shield, and that way we don't actually have to have trim lines run through the actual transom. They're all done by hard lines. But either way, that was still 160 bucks. Yeah, and then we're going to probably have to do it again on the inside and connect it to a trim pump. But I need to know where my trim pump is going to be located, and I also need to know what fittings and everything else I need. So, but that's all going to happen when the trim pump and everything else comes in. So, and battery boxes, believe it or not, because I need to know whether that trim pump is going to be able to sit there, or is it going to have to sit way up in there. And this could be a 20-foot line, because mine actually, believe it or not, my trim pump sits, because my hatch is open this way, sits right up about where that bulkhead is. So that's where the gas tank finished off, so that's where I ended up putting mine. And the lines run all the way down to center. Well, we don't have that option in this case, so we're hoping that it will go right there. But until I get my boxes and then the trim pump itself, I'm not going to be positive. We went ahead and we stopped at Kobe Marine up the street here and actually got a piece of bilge pump hose designed specifically for bilge pumps to make connections between the pumps and the outlets. Yeah, and I don't know, I've got boxes of friggin' hoses in the garage, and yet I can't never seem to find the right size. So at $3 a foot, we will be putting this one in here. up to there, and that will get us a chance to be able to tie all this stuff in semi-permanently. There's no reason for it to flop all over the place anymore, so if it's actually got the right hoses in where it needs to be, then it's permanent. And that's the way it'll stay. And we got a list of other stuff to do today. I'm not even sure what we're going to get into. I know I have to start working on these rams. They haven't been even so much as painted or anything. As I said, they've been soaking for a few days. I think they're fine. Honestly, I'll squirt out what's in it, and as I said, I'll actually put that transmission flicks right in the actual trim pump itself, which will help the trim pump and it'll help those. Yeah, I'm all over the place today. And here's an example for you. When I was at Depot earlier, I bought that $80 board. Yeah, take a guess what that's for. We have our bilge pump hose installed. I think it was longer to get it than it was to actually install, but now we're starting to get a tiny bit of organization with our wiring. There isn't a whole lot more that's going to go over in this direction over towards the bilge pump and the fan. Most of the wiring harness will come in on this side over here and go that way, and it actually will pick up the rest of these already strung now. And I gotta say, I'm starting to feel like, you know, an assistant to a chef or something like that, because I really don't have anything big to do today, and I have a lot of preparation for a big day. So, and I know what it feels like to go to the store and do all the shopping, set up the set, get the pans and pots all ready to go, and then some dude just walks in and says, "Hey, we're gonna make a souffle." Well, that'll be me tomorrow, but today, a lot of painting, getting things ready, straightening things out, you know, getting all this ready, straightening it out, getting that ready, straightening it out. I think I'm ready to install about 98% of the outside of the transom shield. Yeah, we still have the helmet to deal with, which I'm just waiting on the bolts to show up. I actually found a couple of them, so I'm just waiting for those to show. And yeah, then it'll be, everything will be done except for actually hanging the outdrive itself. And of course, bolting up the bell housing from the outside. So it's just kind of like, you know, a lot of prep work today to get ready for something that's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow, actually. My fingers are crossed. You know, it should be. All the pins have been cleaned, everything's been cleaned. I've even cleaned out a lot of the bores. I'll probably finish cleaning out the actual ram bores also while I'm at it. The ones in the big piece are very loose to begin with, so they're fine. But that's the plan. It just doesn't happen today. Sorry. But we'll see you tomorrow, and yeah, it's going to happen then. See ya. Alright, this one's going to work. Focus, baby. 3, 2, 1. I'll do this again. Ah! Well, if I'm up here around my forehead, are the P's popping? And if they're popping, then we have problems with the microphone. Alright, along with a supplemental. Then we'll cut into what we finished off with. Don't forget to unplug the battery charger to the race boat. I think I'm ready. Let's do that again.